Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Upon meeting someone for the first time, many people, when interacting, will discuss and ask each other about their heritage or their ancestry. One thing that I've summed up for many people when engaging in this conversation is I simply say that I'm 1/4 Scottish, 1/4 British, 1/4 Welsh. Then I pause for effect. Then I'll say I'm 1/4 pirate. Usually guys don't like it and people might think it's good, but there might be a grain of truth to this. The exact blur or where this stands on the scale of reality and made up legends in my family might have a bit of a blur, but on my mother's side, which is largely the Welsh and lower part of England, that part of the UK opens up to the mouth of the Mediterranean, and there's a lot of, in history, there's been confirmation that there's been a lot of seafaring folk that have washed up ashore, and perhaps at some points intermixed, and the genetics from those areas have added to those populations. On my dad's side of the family, there was one uncle in particular that used to take me aside as a kid and actually say point blank that the Kilgours descended from pirates. And perhaps this engaged my young imagination, but he would also do things like when we'd arrive for family events at his home, he'd say things also like, welcome aboard, as we enter his home. So some of those things might describe, like this on the mother's side of the family, rather such dark features, despite people of the UK generally being more pale and not being tan so easily. Whereas I usually, if I get tan in the summer, it carries right through to the winter. A lot of people will often ask me if I'm Italian or Greek or something. I'm just like, no, not that I'm aware of. As a toddler, my mother used to say that I was easily absorbed into any activity or creative endeavor. She used to take me to cafes in Toronto where she'd drink a coffee and enjoy a newspaper or book for hours on end while I doodled on a piece of paper. And unbeknownst to her, 5 years later when she had my brother, he simply couldn't do the same thing, and she found out that other toddlers aren't like that. So I was involved in creative pursuits at a young age, but I also had a strong interest in more left-brained activities as well, and I got very much involved in understanding of dinosaurs to begin with. And then over my lifetime, that ability to sort of retain information and understand things in a very almost encyclopedic way would transfer to other topics of interest. Later on, as I became more interested in health and pursuits of a academic nature, I began to involve the creative aspects of my youth with the information retaining abilities, and I started putting up information online and developed a career as a YouTuber. And this has given me satisfaction in that I can have the creative aspects of creating video content, creating just anything that I want online, and then also learning and researching and incorporating more left-brained type activities and merging them together, which has been very fulfilling for me. One of those things that could be seen as more imaginative and creative has been things like meditation and yoga, and some of the more Eastern type philosophies, which I've incorporated in the information I share. And I'd like to close off with a quote from a book that is appropriate in that it takes place on the Mediterranean and is overlooking Mount Vesuvius on the coast there in Italy. The last day of the month was hot and still as midsummer. The slopes of Posillipo begged a breath from the ocean and were denied. So heavy a gaze hung on the sea that not only Capri, not only blue spur that stabbed the sunset, but Vesuvius itself were hidden from the villa where Ilia and her friends were nested. Sunset was somber and splendid. The disk itself was but a vague intensity of angry Indian red. His agony spilt a murky saffron through the haze, and the edges of the storm clouds on the horizon, fantastically shapen, cast up a veritable mirage. Exaggerated and distorted images of their own scarred crests that shifted and changed so that one might have sworn that monsters, dragons, hippogriffs, chimera were moving through the mist, a saturnalia of phantasm. And that's from the book Moonchild.